Welcome back. The House Oversight and Judiciary Committees releasing the transcript of their interview with former Hunter Biden business partner Jason Galanis. Lawmakers interviewed Galanis in an Alabama prison 2 weeks ago. GOP oversight revealing Galanis testified that the value of Hunter Biden was his last name and his access to his father. Galanis called it the Biden lift. He also said Hunter would call his father and use him to close Russian and Chinese business deals. Here's Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer with me on this program last week, telling me more about the Galanis testimony.
What Galanis was able to confirm was that Joe did, in fact, communicate with one of the people, the Russian oligarch, who wired Hunter Biden $3.5 million. This all happened while Joe Biden was vice president. Despite the many times that Joe Biden denied ever having any knowledge of his family's shady business schemes, this was more evidence that Joe Biden knew full well what was going on. He asked her to be good to his son, and not long after that, they wired $3.5 million.
Joining me right now is New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew, a member of the House Judiciary and Transportation Committees. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. What is your reaction to these testimonies, and what can you tell us from the judiciary standpoint about this impeachment inquiry against President Biden?
Maria, it just tells us what we've been learned more and more about. You know, someday a book is going to be written, and it's going to be called The Selling of America to Our Enemies. That's what this really boils down to. The Biden name was used in so many different ways by so many nefarious people. This is just one more example. You know, this gentleman is in a prison in Alabama, but Hunter Biden is still running around, and Joe Biden is just, you know, not even discussed. Well, we're not leaving it alone. That's what I'll tell you from Judiciary. We have a great chairman, and we are going to work our back off to dig down, to drill down to what the truth is here. And here it is in a nutshell. What your people that are watching should know. Joe Biden's name, the vice president then, was used to gain access, to gain power, to achieve money, and all kinds of schemes. In this particular one, it was going to be, they had hoped to literally achieve billions of dollars in profits in a hedge fund. Americans are tired of it. It goes back to that double.
I totally understand that, Congressman, and that certainly is what James Comer has been saying repeatedly on this program. Do you have evidence to prove Joe Biden was involved?
Well, it's clear. I mean, I don't know how many more people have to testify. So we've heard from this gentleman. We have heard from Devin Archer. We have heard from Rob Walker, just to name a few. We know of the meetings, the golf trips, the conversations. What I do know for absolutely sure is that President Joe Biden, when he was vice president and now, has lied. He lied as president and said that he didn't know anything about the business dealings, that he wasn't involved with them at all. We do know that he was in on the telephone calls. We do know that we have testimony from these sources that say he was called numerous times to come in and try to save the day and use his name. We do know that they've testified that he has said that he would be, because he didn't expect to be president, God help us, he shouldn't have been, that he would be on the board, on the boards that they would set up after his vice presidency was done. We do know that this and its associates have achieved over $20 million, $24 million from Kazakhstan, from Ukraine, from China, from Russia, from Romania. Come on, this isn't normal.
Yeah.
There's something wrong here.
This is certainly what Tony Bobolinsky has testified to as well, saying that the structure was similar. Whether you look at the structure that James Biden used to do a deal with AmeriCorps, the healthcare company, who is now suing him, by the way, and the structure of the CEFC deal, which was Hunter Biden and his business partners, as you say, promising equity and a seat on the board for Joe Biden. But I want to get your take on how the Democrats are mocking you all, because the Democrats say, well, look at what's gone on with this impeachment inquiry. Their one source, Mr. Smirnoff, was indicted. The FBI claims he was lying. And now their next source, Galanis, they had to go all the way to an Alabama prison to interview him. That is why you've got people like Dan Goldman, Jamie Raskin, Eric Swalwell mocking this investigation. You know that.
They have no choice. They have to mock it They know that there's really something here, and they just figure if they just keep saying it's not true, there's nothing there. There is. There's a connection. There's a network. There's a web. We can see it. They're wrong, but they're doing politics because it's the only choice they have.
Let me move on to this New York Post op-ed. Columnist Miranda Devine out with a new piece called Hunter Biden's Chinese legal client threatens to sue him unless first son pays back $1 million. This is incredible. Now the Chinese are suing him. CEFC official Patrick Ho says Hunter Biden was hired to be his lawyer, but now he says Hunter did no legal work for him. He wants his $1 million back. Ho was arrested, as you know, back in New York in 2017. He was charged with international bribery and money laundering offenses. Congressman, this is the guy who Hunter and his partners were doing business with. He was arrested for money laundering, and now he is suing Hunter Biden, wanting his money back. What do you know about Patrick Ho?
It's kind of ironic. Well, you judge people by the individuals they have around them. Look who Hunter Biden he's been involved with. One more bad character arrested in New York for, all the different intrigues that he was involved in. And here's the deal. Ho at the time thought that he was buying access and that this would work out and he would gain something with this. Now, because of all the work we've done in judiciary and oversight, that's not going to happen because it would be too open for anybody to go forward. So now he wants his money back because he knew damn well then that he wasn't getting legal work done. And since he hasn't got it done, he says, well, give me a list of what you've done, and then we want a reimbursement for the rest of the money. But he knows there's no list because there was no work. It was access. He was buying access to Joe Biden. This is what it's all about over and over again. This is just one more example. I don't know how much more we have to see. Democrats can mock all they want. We're just laying it out. We're just telling you the testimony of person after person. This isn't just one individual. We keep finding more. We keep learning more. You keep seeing more. What more could you want? I'll tell you this, last thing. If Joe Biden was a Republican, he would have been pushed out of office already. This is way bigger and way more than anything that ever happened.
All right, that is the bottom line. Congressman, thank you. Good to talk with you this morning. Jeff Van Drew, we're going to follow your work, of course. We appreciate your time.